I love Kingdom Hearts. I mean, I absolutely love this game series. From Kingdom Hearts 1 to Kingdom Hearts 3, all of them have been amazing, including Melody of Memory. That's probably one of my favorite Kingdom Hearts games as well. Seeing that the 20th anniversary of Kingdom Hearts is coming up, well, it's already passed and the event is coming up, I wanted to make this video, and I've been wanting to make this video for a long time, and I'm actually really excited about this one. I wanted to share with you guys some of my ideas. Without further ado, this is my Kingdom Hearts 4 world idea. This world idea, I have this one, but I have many others, and I would like to make more of these. But this particular one, I thought it would be quick, easy to start off with, and I thought it would be pretty simple too. Kingdom Hearts has gone to many different Disney worlds and used some of those worlds over and over and over again. Looking at you, Olympus Coliseum, or any world involving pirates. But this one has actually been in 2 of the games, which is Kingdom Hearts 2 and Dream Drop Distance. Kingdom Hearts 2, of course, everybody loves that one, and so it's near perfection. It's probably the quintessential Kingdom Hearts game to play. I love Dream Drop Distance. I love the whole vibe. There's things I don't like about it, like the drop gauge and the spirits, but overall, it is a fantastic game, and I absolutely love it. I love all of the worlds in that game except for one. The world we're talking about today is the world of Tron. Now, why do I think this is a good fit for the next Kingdom Hearts game? There's plenty of reasons. Let's start with Kingdom Hearts 3. Now, Kingdom Hearts 3 had its issues and had really great things. I love that game, but there was some flaws that, nitpicky things that I would change. And one of those things that many people have brought up was there was no Coliseum system. Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2 both had a Coliseum tournament mode, whatever, use through Olympus Coliseum. And we had Olympus in Kingdom Hearts 3, but there was no Coliseum added to it. And the Gamers Joint has talked about a mod that they've added to it. But I think the reason that they haven't added a new Coliseum is because they do it every game. They've had Hercules in almost every single Kingdom Hearts game. I think there's a way we can make it where we have a Coliseum system and it be fresh. And we'll get more into that later. The second reason is a movie like Tron Legacy that is so visually striking. The fact that it's been allotted to a 3DS game is egregious, frankly. And don't get me wrong, Dream Drop Distance did a fantastic job, and I loved the Tron Legacy world in that. But could it be better? I think so. My idea is that we have Tron be the new Coliseum world. Putting those together, I think Tron Legacy would be the perfect fit as the new Coliseum world. It would be a breath of fresh air from the same old Olympus Coliseum while being a Coliseum system. And it would be such a visually beautiful world. You look at the Caribbean in Kingdom Hearts 3, how the CGI cutscenes are absolutely gorgeous. They look so lifelike. And I think with a movie like Tron Legacy and a Coliseum world, you can make cutscenes that are amazing, beautifully striking, possibly even better than some parts of the movie. It would also be just like a Coliseum system that adds more than just combat. So let's go through different parts of this world. And this is kind of what I want to do when I bring up these world ideas, is to go through different aspects of the world. Now that we've delved into the why I think this world is a good idea, let's go into how I think the world should be done, or how it could possibly be done. So we look at first why we're going to this world. Why are we visiting once again? This is no new thing that Kingdom Hearts revisits old Disney movies. I mean, they've been doing it the whole past series. So having Tron Legacy once again is not such a far-fetched idea. I think the reason why we're going to this world could be along the lines of the movie. We have CLU trying to get to the outside world and using programs and rectifying them, changing them to his side, reprogramming the programs to make a perfect system. And if they don't get rectified, they get sent to the games. So we find Sora and crew, they arrive in the grid, and they're found and captured. And since those programs see them as users, just like with Sam Flynn, they say, okay, you can't be rectified, you're users, we'll send you to the games, right? And here's where we get to the Coliseum system. We have the same type of idea, just as Olympus, where it's called the games, you know, Danny DeVito. The games. I can't do his voice. We have a Coliseum system built into this movie. Even though Hercules never really had a Coliseum system built into its movie, it was kind of just Herc doing and saving the day. They still made it work because, you know, it's taken place on Olympus and Greeks had Colosseums, and it just fits. But this one actually has games, competitions that are fighting, you know, so you have CLU trying to get rid of these programs that, you know, aren't good enough, and Sora, Donald, and Goofy are in the game, stuck there, and they're trying to save these programs out of the games, and trying to stop CLU in the process. We went through the main story in Dream Drop Distance, but those were sleeping worlds. Those were worlds that weren't actually going on at the time. They weren't present. They would just be in a dream. They would repeat over and over and over again. So we could go and be like, okay, this is not a dream. This is part of, you know, the real world. There's other things here that it's like, I think it would be a good idea, but I'm not holding out hope for it. Maybe we see an appearance from Hercules in this world. I know, it's crazy. Like seeing Hercules in a Tron getup and the fact of the world order. But I mean, they've done this kind of thing before. You've seen Maleficent and Pete travel to different worlds. You have Jiminy Cricket, who's traveling all over the place with Donald and Goofy. I mean, is it so crazy to see another Disney character in another Disney movie in this game? I mean, that's what the whole game is about. But perhaps Hercules comes and he's trying to compete, find new avenues, new games to push himself towards. I think we can possibly add that, or we could have a program, one that they make up from the game, maybe a Final Fantasy character, I don't know, that you're helping through the games and you get invested in. Maybe they end up dying in the games, I don't know. They get de-rezzed or something like that. I think that would be a good reason to go back to the world, why we're actually going to this world again, to save these programs. Now that we've covered why we're being here, let's look at possibly the world. I think that with this world, it should be small, very small. Some of those worlds in Kingdom Hearts 3 being small was just frustrating, like Twilight Town or Winnie the Pooh. It was like, come on, we could have put the processing power somewhere else in this game. But making Tron Legacy a small world makes sense because it's a Coliseum, right? And you can put a ton of mini games in there, and we'll get to the games in a second. Make it small, and perhaps even because it's small, you can invest more into it graphically, just like Pirates of the Caribbean with its CGI cutscene. It doesn't have to be a ton of cutscenes. Maybe all the scenes from Tron Legacy are all CGI, and it just looks just muy fuego. Okay, that's what we can look for, and you know, you can really invest in these little areas, and like, that's not such a crazy thought either. I mean, they went through the effort of making Winnie the Pooh's world in Kingdom Hearts 3 completely cel-shaded, like unnecessary, didn't have to do that, and it was a little area that's totally unique to the world. And yeah, they said that each world looks unique on its own, which is cool. And this is something that they can do, that they can put graphically a lot of effort into, and you can have just two areas, perhaps the opening area, kind of like Olympus Coliseum in Kingdom Hearts 1, where you have the waiting area and then the Coliseum, you know, just that little open area. Perhaps this area could be the armory underneath the Coliseum. Perhaps a waiting area could be Caster's Lounge, and you buy items and interact with characters there. And perhaps in the waiting area or the army, there's gladiators or participants waiting to play the games, or in the caster's lounge, you have all those different programs waiting as well. And then you have the actual Coliseum, which we've seen in Tron Legacy, and you can make that beautifully. And so that's how you can pull off the areas, I think. Let's get into the actual game. Obviously, we'll have a combat scenario. Maybe you're fighting programs like you've done in Dream Drop Distance. You're just de-resing programs left and right. Fighting Heartless, you know, specifically Tron looking Heartless. Or maybe each Heartless gets a Tron outfit, like a Shadow looks like gets its own Tron outfit. I don't know. You're having the combat, you're doing that as well. Maybe you have some disc battles where you have to block the discs coming in to launch it back at the user or the program. That could be added to the actual combat. And I think also we can have light cycle races with the ribbons of light behind it. And I don't think this is too crazy either, because we're kind of combining two things. We saw a racing system in Disney Town in Birth by Sleep, and that worked out beautifully, where you actually attack and race and get boosts and all these different things. So it's like, is it so crazy that you have a racing game in Kingdom Hearts and it has attacks where you use the ribbons of light and maybe use some jumps like it has in Disney Town, and you're jumping over people using the ribbon of light, jumping over their ribbons of light, all these different things. It could be beautiful. And we've had the ribbon of light used in Dream Drop Distance, so we know that they're able to program it to where it knocks out people. So it doesn't have to be just combat. It can be a full-on Coliseum type thing. And you know, perhaps we throw in other games from Retro Tron's, a game where they're lobbing the ball back and forth on a little platform and trying to get rid of the platform, and maybe you use magic to get rid of the platform instead of a ball or something like that, where they use their disc and you use your magic. And it could be completely diverse and make it to where it's not just combat and you go back periodically. I think one thing that Kingdom Hearts 3 was missing was a reason to go back to these worlds periodically and re-explore them. And I think that's something that Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2 did beautifully, was they didn't have big areas, they didn't have a ton of areas to explore. Kingdom Hearts 1, the worlds were a little bit bigger, but Kingdom Hearts 2, well, if you really think about it, when you play it, they're actually very small worlds and they have tiny areas. But Kingdom Hearts 2 used it to where you go back and it feels so full and so much going on, because you revisit it, they reuse the assets they already have and make a new story or add to it. And we could do the same thing that we've done with the Coliseum Wars, where we add to it. It's like, okay, new track unlocked, new cup unlocked. And by the end of it, you save the grid. Now, let's get into the Keyblade. The Photon Debugger is fine. It's not a terrible Keyblade. I don't particularly love it too much. The stats were kind of eh. And now Dual Disc, that was a beautiful Keyblade. I don't think you can ever top Dual Disc when it comes to a Tron Legacy Keyblade. However, if we didn't do Dual Disc again, or a modification of Dual Disc, I would recommend a Keyblade kind of like you have the disc as the handle once again, but you have the ribbon of light from a light cycle as the neck of the Keyblade, and on the teeth of the Keyblade is the light cycle. So it's kind of just like a racing light cycle going up, and make it to where it's coming out from the disc. It's kind of a simple idea. I don't love it. It doesn't outdo Dual Disc, but if you had to make a new one, I think you can make it with a light cycle on there somehow, and it would make sense. That's my idea for a world of having Tron Legacy in a new Kingdom Hearts games. We have the Unreal Engine 4. We can make a beautifully made world and redo it again and make it even better than it was before, and we can get rid of tired old ideas. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still love the Coliseum system in Olympus Coliseum, but maybe if you're looking for something fresh to do and something new and give life to an old world that, you know, give it proper appreciation, I think this is a good way to do it. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you liked this video. I really liked talking about it, and I like making it. I'm really passionate about this idea. I have more world ideas that I would love to share. The next one I have to share, I think, is far better than the Tron world. But if you guys like it, like the video, or comment that you like it and I'll make more of these. Don't comment, I don't care. I'm gonna make more of them because I like making these videos. So thank you guys for watching, and may your hearts be your guiding key.